Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about last year's theme of accountability. I am in a new place of understanding it. And I don't think we did a whole lot of talking about it when it was our theme last year. I'm not sure why, maybe the pandemic, maybe just trying to stay afloat. We had a pretty tumultuous past 12 months, so it could have been any number of reasons. But what's come to me is that there are different levels of accountability. There's accountability that I have as a pastor. There's accountability that we have as a local church to the movement. There's accountability that our clergy have to each other. And then there's the accountability that the clergy have to the membership. And one more, that the accountability that the membership have to have for themselves. So I feel like with all those different levels and types of accountability, we sometimes find ourselves struggling to delineate, well, which one should I focus on now? It's like juggling all these different balls and things like that. So the different levels of and the different types of accountability. So let's start with the accountability to self, right? And ultimately, we are all accountable to ourselves. We came in by ourselves. Even if you have a twin or a triplet, y'all all then pop out at once. You were all delivered, whether naturally or by C-section. You all plucked out one by one. So we all came into this world alone, and we're all going to most likely go out of this world alone. And we have to take a certain level of accountability for ourselves. And another word that came to mind when I was thinking about accountability that ties in is responsibility. So there's areas where accountability and responsibility sort of bleed into one another. And I think we have to also take responsibility for our actions, our words, our thoughts, our deeds, because all of that is energy and it's all very powerful. I just started reading one of the books that Beatitude Jones recommended, and the woman's talking about energy and metaphysics. So I'm like, okay, already it's having an effect on me because I'm thinking about energy and the way it affects us. Well, as contemporary Christians, we've been talking for 20, 30 years about the power of our words, right? The power of our words are, we expend great energy and we're more powerful than we realize. So we have to be careful what we say. We also have to be careful with whom we associate. I don't want to sound like one of those old school preachers that, if you were Pentecostal, you couldn't associate with the holiness or the Baptist or the Methodist. That's not who I am. But I think we have to be responsible and accountable for who we associate with, who is in our circle, because I know that Deacon Teresa goes to all these business seminars and things, and they tell you that your circle pretty much dictates your future. You want to be around people that are going to uplift you, people that are going to empower you, people that will teach you something, that will help you to grow and expand your knowledge base, right? So we have to be very, very careful. And I find myself in a very interesting phase now as I move forward in my relationship. And this is a personal example. My friendship circle is starting to change again. So I have this whole group of travel buddies that I've mentioned to you all in the past. You haven't met them because we typically meet up outside the country. But all of us were single and we were all traveling and we got to a country and we had a great time and then we went back home. And now I find myself thinking, that's not really for me anymore. I'm in a partnership. I have to be accountable, and responsible to myself first and then to my partner. I can't keep acting like I was acting before. That single man behavior, Beyonce wrote a whole song about it, that single lady behavior. You can't carry that over into your partnered life. If you want to tear something up real quick, try that. You want to you want to destroy something real quick, try that. It's also interesting too for me because my partner, he's been single a long time and I've been single a long time. So we're both relearning how to be accountable to another person.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm going to go over here and I'll be gone for 4 or 5, 6 hours. You should know that. Because we're both accustomed to just kind of like we put on our stuff and don't have to tell anyone where we're going or what we're doing. And then you get back and you're like, why are you looking at me funny? Because you were going like 4 hours and I didn't know where you were. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, my bad. I'm not even used to telling anybody where I'm going. I'm used to just putting on my clothes and going, hopping on a plane and going, renting a car and going, you know? So I'm learning new things about that. And I reflected that on some things that are happening around the movement, some things that are happening around our local church, and of course, things that are happening in my personal life. They say that preachers always talk from mostly from their personal experience. So I really want us to be thinking about how we are accountable to ourselves and responsible for our actions and the people we surround ourselves with. I guess if I was going to give points, which I hadn't really planned on, that would be your point one. Be responsible and accountable for your own actions and who you surround yourself with. It will make a difference. Now, for me, in my example, does that mean I have to eliminate my friends? No. I love those guys. We have literally traveled the world together. We have experiences that I will never forget. We built memories together and we've bonded. But is our friendship going to change? Yes, and it already has. They know I will no longer be going on those trips with them, and that if I was to come along, Moises will be with me. And you know they don't want that. So they already went somewhere and didn't tell me till they were on the way. And I was like, okay, I got it. I got it. Things are changing. And guess what? It's okay. The next thing I'd like to talk about is spiritual accountability. At Unity, that can be a little bit tricky because we allow such great flexibility for each person to craft their own spiritual journey, right? But I think that somewhere in there, there are some basic rules of spiritual etiquette, if you will. One of the things I talk about often is that we ask our people, no matter what they're practicing, that's fine, but it should be based in love, right? So as you're being spiritually accountable to yourself and to others, make sure that you're moving in a place that's based in love. Also, I think we have to be, I'm trying to be nice, y'all. I think we have to make sure that the people that are around us, that their practices are based in love. Because this can affect who you, right? I'm not necessarily talking about voodoo or whatever. No. What I'm talking about is the person may not even be particularly religious or spiritual, but what they may be is they may not have a pure heart. They may not have the best intentions for your life. Sometimes people leech onto you or latch onto you because they're opportunists. Oh, look, that's the fast elevator. It's going up. That's the high speed one. Let me jump on that. I don't want to do the work to get to the top. let me latch on to this person right here because I know they're going somewhere real fast. So let me latch. Well, guess what? When they latch on to you, your elevator doesn't go so fast anymore. It slows down. It might come to a complete halt, depending on how much baggage and drama they're bringing with them. Do you want that for your life? Or do you want to be free flowing and following the path you're supposed to follow? Think about why people are attracted to you, why people, and I don't just mean physical attraction, but that so-called friendship attraction, that platonic attraction. Why all of a sudden you want to be around me? I ain't seen you since last year or since 25 moons ago. Now you want to be with me 24/7. You want to go places with me and be around me on my phone all the time and on my text. And I'm not saying you're not fabulous, because you are. But sometimes you gotta you gotta take a moment and say, wait a minute. Why so suddenly? Why all of a sudden? Boom, you're right here in my life, in my face. What's that about? Right? And we can be challenged because there's a real thing called loneliness. There's a real thing called depression. There's a real thing called dissatisfaction with the quality or state of one's life. All those things are real. And we've probably all experienced those in different ways and at different times and points in our life. But no matter where you're at in your journey, especially when you kind of got your stuff together and you're on the what is this called? The incline. You're going up. That's when they all start running. You hear the footsteps behind you, like little rats and mice coming up behind you. And everybody wanna, hey, I'm gonna hang on to your coattails while you, no, baby, I love you. I might, if you're serious, I might be able to take some time to mentor and counsel you on how you can do it. Invite you to a seminar like the ones Deacon Teresa and her business partners host, right? But you can't ride my coattails. It took me too much time. I remember when I didn't have a coattail and you were nowhere around. When I was naked and bare and alone and cold and struggling and suffering. Where were you then? Where were you then? Where were you then? And then let's talk about I guess that was point 2. Point 3, let's talk about our responsibility as progressive contemporary Christians who are a part of the queer community. We're unique and we're special. And you know that thing that Brother Bruce talked about to us at that meeting last year, and I keep bringing it up. Brother Bruce, I don't see you, but that's okay. That weighed heavily on me and it stays with me. And you know it does, I keep talking about it. I see you now. I keep talking about it. And as I was walking on the beach this morning, I thought to myself about why is it so crucial that we continue this work? Why, when they're all these other offspring of unity, because I'm gonna look in the camera, they're all unity offspring if they're Black and progressive and queer. Because we were first. Let's make that clear. We love our offspring, but we were first. So why is it so important that we continue this work? Well, one of the reasons is that even though we were first and many have come from us, we continue to be the most progressive, the most enlightened, the most forward-thinking, progressive, Black, queer, Christian-based organization out there, period. Some of our offspring are bigger. They've got more churches, they've got more members, they've got more finances. They may even have more national and international recognition, but none of them are who we are. We're the real deal. Old folks used to say the real McCoy. We're the real McCoy. There's only one original. We're the original. So it's important for us to do this work. And I wanted to take this time today to talk to, since I know it's mostly clergy on here, then Brother Bruce, who is like our elder. It's important for us to continue to do this work because the other voices are out there and I'm grateful for them, but they're not our voice. Our voice is unique. Our voice is the one lone voice saying that you can practice Buddhism and Christianity, that you can practice Yoruba and Christianity, that you can practice, I don't know, whatever, Hinduism and Christianity, right? We're the lone voice out there. I don't hear anybody else saying that. I don't see anybody else saying that. And now with our new leadership in place, our presiding prelate and our senior bishop, we have two voices, two progressive voices who are looking into studying things like metaphysics and meditation and how that can be incorporated into our spirituality. So we're expanding the borders of what it means to be a Christian and what it means to be a progressive Christian, what it means to be a progressive Black Christian, and then what it means to be a progressive Black queer Christian. Come on now, I'm gonna just put my hands together for that. Ah! Woo! I know it doesn't sound like much, but to me, this sounds like the world. It's like, do you want just the plain one, when you make a cake, like a multi-layer cake, and you have that one yellow sheet, one yellow round piece, you can have that. Or you can have the multi-layer cake we have with the frosting in between, the fancy decorations on top. And if you like ice cream, you can have some ice cream on the side, a little whipped cream, whatever your favorite thing is. You want some sprinkles on your ice cream? We're giving you all that to choose from. This is where it's like haute couture when you go to Paris and you have a suit made or a gown made custom, right? You can customize your spiritual journey at Unity. No preacher, no pastor, no elder, no bishop is going to yell at you from the pulpit telling you, you must do it this way. That's not who we are. So why do we need to keep doing this work? We need to keep doing this work because we're the only ones that are exactly like us. And we're the only ones who can show people how to embrace all the different aspects of their spirituality, their sexuality, their physicality. All the alities and isms can be embraced at Unity. And that's why it's important for us to continue to do this work. And then finally, I've said this before, and I believe it with all my heart and soul, heart, mind, body, and soul. I believe that transgender, gender nonconforming, and non-binary people are the future of the movement, period. I'm not saying there's a place for cisgender people, because there will always be, but the future of this, if you look at the direction that our community is heading in and how many more people are embracing the different types of expression and identities, et cetera, that's where it's at. So we must embrace that too. And I think with young people in the room like you guys pushing the envelope like you did when you read that beautiful updated version of the What We Believe statement, you're pushing the envelope so that more of our family will feel welcome in the room. That's our work. That's our work. And not just putting up one or two people as a mascot or a spokesperson and then not doing the work behind the scenes, but really taking people under our wing, mentoring them, teaching them, educating them, and preparing them for leadership, whether it's in clergy or laity, because that's our future. So that's what I wanted to talk to us about today. Accountability, responsibility, and I'm going to incorporate our new theme for next year. We have the privilege of creating and crafting what the future of Black, queer, progressive Christianity looks like. Ashe.
Ashe.
Amen.
Amen.
And so it is.
And so it is.